Hey everybody, this is David Morgan, Arlington's Environmental Planner and Conservation Agent. June 4, 2026 public meeting of the Arlington Conservation Commission will be conducted in a remote format consistent with state legislation that extends remote participation in public meetings till June 30th, 2027. This meeting is being recorded and the recording may be made publicly available. Just put a link in the chat to the meeting agenda and materials. Please note that the Zoom chat feature may be used for questions and comments that contribute to the Commission's procedures, and if it's used otherwise, may be disabled at the Chair's discretion. Public comment period will follow each hearing, and the Commission invites attendees to ask questions, offer comments during the public comment period. Chuck Tirone is the Commission Chair, so he'll facilitate tonight's meeting, and each vote taken during the meeting will be conducted with a roll call vote. So over to you, Chuck, for agenda review and attendance.
Sure. So I'm in agenda for June 4th, 2026, and it's 7:02. So we're going to review the minutes and go right into some updates from our various liaisons. And then we'll have two hearings. The first hearing is for Lafayette Street, and the second hearing, which is going to be continued, is 91 Sunnyside. With that, I'll take roll call attendance. So I'll start with Mike Gildesgame.
Present.
Susan Chapnick.
Here.
David White.
I'm here.
David Kaplan.
I'm here.
And Brian McBride. I think he's absent tonight, and so is Nathaniel Stevens. So on the chair, I'm Chuck Tirone, and I'm here. I want to attendance for the associate members of Sarah Alfaro Franco.
Present.
Thanks. And Eileen Coleman. And Eileen is also not here tonight. Moving on to our first item on the agenda, it's a review of the minutes from May 21st, 2026. Amy, can you put those on?
Give me just a sec. Jackie, I'll race you, see who gets there first. Ha! I had it open and I closed it, so Jackie,
Okay.
you want to walk us through, Jackie?
Yeah, so I think it's not showing the comments, but Susan made several small changes to the minutes. And these are the minutes.
So if it's not showing my changes, I don't feel comfortable voting on the minutes because the rest of the commission can't see them. Or you could scroll down and I can see if it just incorporated the changes.
It
So the
does
first
incorporate the
change,
changes.
it did or it did not?
I believe it did, but if you don't see
Okay,
them,
go to 3 Water Bodies Working Group and Susan Chapnick's Day the Restoration. Nope, it's not in there. So I
Okay.
changed that section to say that the plantings and invasive control maintenance was performed with volunteers on May 16th. I mean, there was a whole
Let me
nother
stop my
section
share
that I
then.
reported. Yeah.
David, do you have the changes shown?
I believe so. Let me check where she was.
Do you want me to email them to you again, or would that be helpful?
Is this different from which
Nope.
application? Is it the same?
Same?
Oh, I got it. Um,
Really not liking this new form. I know it's not your choice, it's the
Yeah, I
town, but
know.
I'm really not liking this process. I think it's more cumbersome.
It is.
This one, it's
Yeah.
really not showing the changes, but
It's
this
not
is the
showing
one
it, but
that-
they're incorporated, so
Oh,
I can go through
here.
and tell you where they are.
Okay.
Okay,
This one at least has the comment,
okay.
which I did add the date of the landscape plan, um, at least to the version that we saw before. Um,
So
do you
now
want
you
to
have to
check if
merge
they're
both
incorporated?
versions? Do you have to merge both versions,
The
Jackie?
only thing was the date, so it'd be easy for me to do that.
That's the only thing on the other one that wasn't on this one?
Mhm.
Okay. So I added under the second paragraph on the Water Bodies Working Group, when we were talking about the riverfront restoration, I just added some information about what we did, which I did report to the commission. So that just has some more information in it. And then the s- so that's there. And then if you scroll down, the only other, I made some edits to the Sims conservation restriction update. Um, to just make it clear, it was kind of not clear that there are different phases, not necessarily different surveys. So I just
All
corrected that
stages, yes.
language, right? Phases or stages versus surveys. So there was only one survey and then different stages or phases. So I made that clear. Um, and then, so that's in there. And then, in the administrative report, and I don't think I'm putting words in your mouth, hopefully not, Jackie, but, um, you had said the commission could potentially propose the other changes to the town meeting, I thought in 2027, not in the fall town meeting. I
Right.
think
Okay.
that's what you meant. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then I just corrected something in the discussion items. The next to the last sentence, where it said that we asked for a short proposal and David Morgan could put the proposal on the Conservation Commission agenda for discussion and vote, and subsequent recommendation to the select board. So that I added. And then on the next, under the notice of intent for 26 Dudley, under the second paragraph, S. Chapnick stated, and then I said I opened that I corrected this for the record that, and I said it during the meeting, that the hearing actually had opened on 12/4, not for something that it was continued from in the agenda, and that we had asked for additional materials, and that, then later on, I added some more detail because we did talk about all the additional materials. And in this paragraph, as Chapnick reviewed, Jackie captured most of them. But at the end, it says the request to move the dumpster was addressed, the request for additional green space was addressed with additional plannings. However, commissioners discussed more robust riverfront improvements, which we did, and then those are highlighted below. And the commission also previously asked the town engineer to review the report, which was not captured there. And then I just made a few other minor edits. And then, like Jackie said, so maybe you could just change it in this version, Jackie. I asked for the date of the landscape plan, which is further down, because I guess I missed it. Where it says documents reviewed. So if you could just add the date of that, whatever
Okay.
that was. And then
Yeah,
you can remove my comment. So
I have a version with all of the comments, but I guess when I made it into a PDF, it didn't show your comments.
that's
That's
okay.
what I'm
You could
thinking
remove,
happened.
see, there is a little comment thing. And you can remove that and just add
Mhm.
you can just delete it or say I forgot how you do that. I think you say
Yeah, I'd
it's,
have to download it, but I have it
oh,
in my downloads that I've already. Um, you probably can't see it, but if I open another, um,
so this is a Word document. This isn't a PDF that you were just showing.
no, so I tried to
Oh,
make it into a PDF so that everyone wouldn't try to edit it because that messes it up. But
yeah.
I guess by doing that, um, okay, I have my version here. This was my Word version. And you can
Okay, so
see
then you can see the highlights and you added the date. Great.
it's
Okay. So the planting plan was what? Could you go back down? Planting plan was 512 and the site plan was 57 and the stormwater management was 59. Okay. Okay. Thank you. So those are all my those are my changes. I don't know how to make this process easier, Jackie.
Yeah,
Really don't. It's cumbersome due to the way the
yeah,
town.
it is.
I don't know if you can ask anybody in the town how other people do it, because it is, you should give feedback, you and David,
cumbersome,
that
confusing.
this is very cumbersome and confusing to deal with. Maybe there's another workaround we don't know about, or how are other commissions dealing with this? I don't know.
I think we can ask Joan. Our public information officer, she does the website and all of the related IT infrastructure.
Does she
so-
do minutes? Maybe she should do minutes, and she can get some firsthand experience with what she's making everyone else do.
Yep.
All right, so can we get a vote on this?
So I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as edited.
In a second,
Second.
Susan Chapnick and Mike Gildersgame. Going through this, we're going to go with David Kaplan.
Yes.
Mike Gildersgame,
Yes.
Susan Chapnick,
Yes.
David White.
Okay, yes.
Chuck Tironi says yes. Okay, so we got the minutes. At this point, I just want to find out who's going to be working on the minutes for this meeting. I would take on. I think we're asking two people to do it, so I'll take in one of those. And who's going to be the other person?
I
So the
can
process is
do this round with you,
sure,
Chuck.
David Kaplan. So the process is Jackie sends out her draft of the minutes with the recording so we can watch that recording also. And then we add for the entire meeting all of what we remember. So we should be taking notes tonight. And then everyone else, once we've finished, and we have to do this timely because I think it's got to get on enough time for everyone else to check it out. And then after that, everyone else puts in their comments. So David Kaplan, would you like to do the first run and then I'll get it from you and add my stuff? I think, is that how it worked with everyone else? How did you work someone took the
How about
lead?
the rest of us? When do we get in the process?
Well, after we go
On the
over it,
Google Drive. It's supposed to
Yeah.
get to you by Thursday or Friday the week before the meeting, but this one was late because I was traveling.
yeah,
So I will say it's not as onerous as it sounds because Jackie is a fast typer and she's been basically capturing everything, all our discussions and our votes and everything. The only thing you need to work on occasionally is, like I did, show with the Sims, Jackie doesn't have the history, so she didn't understand that these were phases and not surveys. And, like there's certain things like that that need to be clarified. But you don't have to write the minutes as the reviewer. You're just reading them for clarity and what we actually said.
sure. And
Okay.
to the persons that have done it in the last couple of meetings, was it what me and David Kaplan just talked about? One of the two people that reviews it, someone takes the lead. I see someone, Mike Gilsgame saying yes. All right, so David Kaplan, that's going to be you. Send it to me when you're finished, and then I'll add my edits and we'll send it off.
Sounds good.
All right, great. So we're ready to move on to the next. So we have an update. We're into our update section, and that's Water Bodies Working Group, and that's David White.
Okay, a few things. The beach opens at the reservoir on June 15. There's a hand harvesting by volunteers on June 20th. And there's mechanical harvesting starts on June 22nd. And there was a water survey, which looked pretty decent altogether. And we had some, it's having It went, was it coontail? No, something else. Watermill foil was an invasive plant. But it's looking reasonably well. Not much sign of water chestnuts at present. And I think next week they're going to do Hills Pond again.
Are you finding as you pick up the water chestnuts, it's getting filled with milfoil and other invasives now that
Well,
there's room?
I think that
Possibly.
with the more room, the milfoil is finding a place to live.
Yeah, because we're using mechanical harvesting out in the reservoir, and that you're dialing into one aquatic species, and obviously when there's more room, there's more light, there's more space, others will naturally take over, and that's why I asked that question. What is that taking over? And maybe we're going to get to
It's
a
not
point
taking over
where
yet, but it's presence. It's presence there.
so do you see treatment in the next year, 2 years, or we're
We'll
still
have to see
good?
what the consultant has to say,
Hmm.
what the survey comes up with in the future. But the water chestnuts are definitely much less than they were before. So
Okay.
success in that way.
So enjoy the
Um,
next couple of years, and then we'll be
we'll see what happens.
treating it again.
Well, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's
I also want to mention that the finally got a permit from Park and Rec for the McLennan invasive plants. So it's in process. Any questions, anybody? Anything
read.
else?
I have a question about that. So what is that process? Does that go through David Morgan? Does it go through the Army, the volunteers who want to do it? How
I
can we
understand. Basically,
facilitate getting that done?
so Elaine, through Army, took it to Park and Rec, and they approved it.
Oh, they did. Good. Okay. Because I wanted to make sure she wasn't getting any
I'm trying to track
pushback.
in the details, but
Okay.
don't know the details, but that's basically the big story.
Good. I'm
Elaine
glad.
took it to Park and Rec, and they approved the
Thank you.
request.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe my internet cut out, but what is this you're trying to get permission to do mechanical removal and
Hand
using
removal.
and
And removal.
of what's the invasive?
Yeah. And also some leaf plantings as well.
Yeah, so what she's been doing all along, and they had in the past said she could do it, and then they changed their process, so it got difficult. So she's been removing Oriental bittersweet vines, sometimes using a hand saw if they're really thick, cutting them. Um, uh, uh, what's the other ones besides garlic mustard, which is not the multiflora rose. She's
Hmm.
been removing. Because I helped her too, done native plantings of small native trees. Um, and yeah, so that's kind of it. There's probably other invasives I'm forgetting, but
It sounds like dry land invasives,
yeah, they're
no aquatic
upland.
invasives. Yeah.
They're not
Okay.
aquatic. No, no, they're upland,
Aquatic.
up on, yeah. Mhm.
Okay. Is that all you have, David White?
That's all I have for the moment.
Okay, we're going to move on to a CPA liaison from Brian, who's not here, so we're going to skip that. And we'll do our tree committee liaison, which is Sarah Alfaro Franco.
We have not had a meeting since our last CONCOM, but we have a tree committee meeting next week.
All right, great. All right, thank you, Sarah. Sims is also not here, and now we're to our fishing line working group liaison, which is Susan Chapnick.
So the fishing line working group has not met since its first meeting and the kickoff meeting. So because the next meeting was canceled, I got an email from Natasha today that basically they said, we apologize for the lag in the meeting schedule. After collecting groups' feedback, so that after the first kickoff meeting, at the end of that meeting, an action item for the people that were on the working group was to send 5 key issues to Courtney Dugan, I think is that how you pronounce her last name? She's Natasha's assistant, or she's Natasha's assistant. She's been spearheading this effort. And I sent 5 top priorities, which I can go through if you'd like to hear them, in an email to the group on the 12th of May. So she said after they got that, and I'm quoting, we decided to pivot. We sent an email to Mass Department of Fish and Game, DCR Lakes and Ponds, and Mass Wildlife to seek guidance on what they were doing at the state level and what other communities may be doing in regard to fishing line waste. This email was sent on May 12th, and to date, they've only heard back from DCR Lakes and Ponds, who referred them to 2 other organizations. So they said their hope is to have someone from one of the organizations attend the next meeting of the Fishing Line Working Group to discuss the issue and help provide the group with actionable and sustainable strategies, I'm quoting. Additionally, they've been made aware of the issues. I've been forwarding emails that I get from Laura Kiesel and others on harm to wildlife that is still happening in our ponds, and fishing line waste that is still being pulled down by volunteers on the banks of our water bodies. So this is still a critical issue, and I'm just reporting back. That's where we stand.
Can you quickly go over your 5 topics and let
Sure.
us know if it was town-wide or if it's specific to some pond?
My topics were townwide,
Okay.
because this working group is townwide. It's not specific to one pond. I'll just read them off from the email. Protecting the aquatic and bank environments from fishing waste and setting up monitoring or a central way to gather data on where the waste is most accumulating. My concern there is that we don't have the information we need, because we have different volunteers emailing, it's here, it's here, we had this problem, we had that problem, and no central location of collecting and looking at that data. Number 2, protecting the aquatic organisms themselves. The first one was protecting the environment, the habitat. The second one is protecting the organisms from fishing line waste, and set up monitoring or central way again to gather the data on specifics of harm to biota. Number 3 was consider specific locations at each of our ponds for allowing fishing, such as fishing line would not get caught in trees or shrubs, and signage about this. 4, setting a schedule for routine collection of fishing waste from receptacles and fishing line waste out of trees and bushes and in the water. Right now, again, we have ad hoc volunteers doing this. There's no routine. And number 5, education of youth anglers on proper handling of fishing line and other fishing waste, and a way to monitor if these educational programs are actually helping to reduce fishing waste. So those were my 5. And I see that David has his hand up, Chuck.
Yeah, I see that. David White, go ahead.
Basically, the volunteers do all the work right now. There's very little coordination with this working group. So I think the working group somehow needs to make better connections, be more active in terms of working with the volunteers, be a clearinghouse for what's going on, because it's sort of very chaotic out there.
I agree with you, David, and I am disappointed that they decided to pause the working group and ask for this other help, because to me, that's what a working group is. The working group will evaluate the issues and say, okay, we're going to go out and get this other help. That's what we did for example, for the turf study committee. We said we need more information. We went to experts. We asked them to come and give us presentations on certain aspects. That's what you do. So they're doing the work for us. it seems to me, this is my opinion, that Natasha and Park and Rec are doing the work of the working group for us. And then they're going to come and present it. I don't know. I'm a little
I think the
disappointed.
working group needs to take
That's
more.
my own
do more.
opinion, but
Might kill this game.
Yes, I wondered about the youth education part of this. Sorry, who's carrying it out and how is that being advertised so that youth know about this program?
so I do know who's carrying it out, but I don't know if I wrote it down.
I mean, is this being distributed to schools or how are
Oh, no,
they?
no, no. This is somebody who's done this before, and he works with, I don't know if he works with Mass Fish and Wildlife. Um, his name is Hong Chin. He was coordinating it, Hongchin. He's on the, um, he's on the working group. And I forgot the organization he works with. Oh, Fish and Wildlife. So he works with Fish and
Oh, good.
Wildlife, and he helped arrange this. I don't know if he's not doing the training. Somebody else is from Fish and Wildlife. So it's Fish and
Wow.
Wildlife doing it. It's scheduled for 2 dates in June. I think initially it was the 17th and the 20 something. I don't remember. And I haven't seen much advertisement about it. I saw one email from Arlington about it, and I heard that they already got full both of the sessions. People had to sign up, and they're already full.
Oh,
That's
good.
good.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to know what actual materials they're using or passing out. I assume we'll see some of that.
You know, I'm hoping we get a verification of when it is, some kind of confirmation. I haven't seen it. I asked Natasha for that so that one of us can go. I mean, I'll try to go
Yes,
because
exactly.
as a liaison, I want to see what they're doing.
Yes, we're liaisoning.
Okay, any other questions? Moving on, we have an administrator's report. It should be David Morgan. I'm not sure David has anything to talk about, but if not, I have something.
Go ahead, Chuck. I don't have anything pressing.
So I was talking to Susan this afternoon, and we would like to make a standing commitment to have our prep meeting on Thursday at 12 o'clock. Can you fill up your calendar for the next? Not sure it'll work out right away. You may have something since we're just springing this on you, but if it works out, we'd like to move forward with this and have it moving forward. So
Next one would be
So-
the 18th then, for our meeting on the 25th.
Yep.
All right, and then I'll look at the next couple of dates and schedule those now so that we can, it's an irregular schedule this month, so I can't do like the every 2 week thing, but I will
Yeah.
book it anyway.
All right. So we're done with that. And we're down. Finished with our
Chuck,
updates. And now
I haven't, just an item, but I didn't know if you wanted to do it under admin or under additional items. And it's about talking about Nathaniel leaving and his replacement again. I just wanted
Yep.
to have a
we'll
short
hit
discussion.
that at the end of the meeting.
Okay, that sounds fine.
I think that's more of a committee thing than a public.
Sure.
Yeah, and we have people
Sure.
waiting.
Sure.
So with that, we're going to start our first hearing, and we have a request for determination of applicability for 40 Lafayette Street. The Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing to consider a request for determination of applicability for a fence, permeable patio, installation at 40 Lafayette Street. It usually lets us know what resource areas we're in, but I know we're in the outer. Is it correct that we're in the outer riverfront, David Morgan? Yes, he's saying yes. So this,
Because when I looked at the map, it looked like some of
We don't have our
of the,
discussion right
Oh, okay, I'm
now, Susan. Hold on. We're going to hold that until, so we're going to have a presentation. So I see Gavin is here. Is anyone else here for that? And so can you introduce yourself for the record? And we would usually get a presentation showing us what you're planning to do.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. My name is Gavin Tullis, and I'm joined with my wife.
Hi, my name is Laura DeCola.
And we are the owners of the condo at 40 Lafayette Street. And we have a small exclusive use yard that we would like to give some TLC to. It's seen better days. I'm looking at it right now, and it's currently weeds. But what we are proposing to do are three things. So first is just to remove the existing chain link fence that surrounds our portion of our exclusive use yard area, and that's about 144 square feet, or 100, yeah, in total length. And we would propose to replace that with an ornamental aluminum fence, because we've been in touch with David to understand kind of the need to have allow for water flow. So the idea would just be something that it's a little nicer than the chain link, but similar, not changing, not having something that's solid. I think it would, something that still has a lot of space so water can get through. And then the second component would be to create a small little patio space in our exclusive use yard that we could use to just put some lawn furniture on. Would be about 150 square feet, like 10 by 15. And we have talked to a couple kind of patio company, I don't know, landed on, patio guys and gals that, so we have a couple quotes for using some sort of a permeable paver to put down. But again, it would only be, we wouldn't want it to exceed 150 square feet. And then the third piece would just be as part of mitigation based on our discussions with David and Jackie, would be to add some new plantings in our yard area. So about 300 square feet total, which again, our yard right now is basically just weeds. So it would be anything that can make it look not as sad as it currently looks. So that's the overall layout, and yeah, happy to try and answer any questions.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I want to go to David right away, but I did want to know if this condo, because I said that there was a condo association, so I'm assuming it's condo, when it was built, and if there were any conditions that were in place, and if there was an order of conditions and there were conditions in place with that first order, or if not. So maybe David Morgan knows the answer to that, because I don't think that seems like I'm getting head nodding over there. So David, I'm going to turn it over to you, but could you answer that question too?
Yeah, I actually pulled up the parcel map because I wanted to confirm the resource areas for you all, and I was right, it is outer riverfront area. It's also floodplain and floodway. And the record at the assessor's office says it was built in 1926. Does that make sense to you all? Do you have?
Yeah, I think that's based on our understanding. Yeah.
Great.
All right, so it's probably not an order of conditions back in 1926. So, and there's no conditions, or there's no minor projects or RDAs in our system about any fences or any exclusive use areas or things like that.
I'll double check, but we created the digital file on our server for this one. There are no previous records when we did that, so I'll check our tracker, but I think the answer is no.
Yeah, I checked Airtable and I couldn't find anything in our spreadsheet.
So I know that there's the house and then there's the driveway. How can you give an estimate how long they've been there? And if so sometimes, two-family houses turn into condos. And at that point they do a little bit of upgrading. And I was wondering if the driveway was always in its current configuration, or if there was an upgrade to the driveway, creating more impervious surface, and if you could put a date to that also, or it always seems to be in its current
So,
current formation.
yeah, so we purchased the condo 2 years ago,
May
2020,
2024.
and it was as is. Then the driveway had been, as is. I am not 100% sure how long, but I think ever since it's been at least a condo, I'm aware of that it's had that driveway.
Do
Based on the
you do you know
plan
what
in
that date
our,
is? Do you know
um,
what date it became a
let,
condo?
I'm not, I can look at the plan.
Docs.
Um, yeah,
Plot plan?
yeah, let's see when the plan was. And then we could pull our condo docs too. It'll just take a second, but,
I think the plot plan for the site plan for the condominium
it was 2008, which I think
Yeah.
is consistent with our understanding of when it was converted. I think.
We at least know that they did renovations at that
Yeah, there
time when
was-
we bought our property.
Okay, that's helpful. Thank you. Susan Chapnick, I see that your hand is up.
Thank you, Chuck. So, I actually really appreciate that you're doing a 2-to-1 mitigation for a small patio and permeable pavers. My concern with this project, is that at least in my tenure on the Conservation Commission, and I actually will, reference Nathaniel Stevens, who I spoke to earlier, who is an environmental attorney. We have never done an RDA with mitigation. We've done an RDA with certain little conditions, like you have to have, the fence you're putting in has to have room for the floodway, for floodwaters, or something like that. Or the plantings you're putting in, if you're talking about doing some invasive control, and plantings have to be native. But we don't do RDAs with mitigation because there is no legal way we can make sure that mitigation stays. So if it's a notice of intent and we have a permit and we have that condition of mitigation and it's marked and labeled and the mitigation then gets registered with the Registry of Deeds and is required in perpetuity. That's what we generally require. If we do an RDA, and if the commission chooses to do an RDA as a positive negative, meaning it's within jurisdiction, but it won't impair the resource area with the conditions, and one of the conditions is mitigation. We have no way of making sure that mitigation stays. So I called Nathaniel Stevens and he said in his opinion, if there's mitigation proposed, it should be an NOI. I'm not trying to be difficult. I see that it's the outer riverfront. I'm just looking for a vehicle that the Conservation Commission can be sure that if we accept this impairment and the mitigation to offset the impairment, that we have a legal standing there. So that's where I am on this. I don't know how other commissioners feel about it.
Sure. Thank you for reaching out to Nathaniel Stevens.
Yeah.
And so I guess if the commission wants to have a legal requirement here, we cannot accept this RDA. But if the commission wants to come up with their own conditions that satisfy, um, this 150 square foot, pervious paver patio in this area as described in their application, then it would be up to us. I don't see any hands up, so I'm going to continue. So I don't see this as I see this as a big deal for the commission, but I don't see this as a big deal for the responsibility of the town and the administrators and commissioners when they take a step back and they understand how small this project is and how much it's not going to alter the outer riverfront. It's in the outer riverfront, it's 150 square feet. If this they're proposing mitigation, I understand that we won't have any way of chasing that through the next sale. But we could put a bound out there and require a sign that says this is a mitigation area on those plants and it's supposed to be here in perpetuity, and ask for some note to be added to the condo docs or something like that. I'm giving the opposite side of this because we're supposed to mitigate adverse impacts. And so what kind of impact is an 150 square foot pervious paver patio in the outer 200-foot riverfront area that was described here tonight is being constructed on existing lawn, which is semi-degraded in the first place under the riverfront standards. So that's all I'm going to say. I'm just going to put it out there because sometimes I'm not completely happy with being so strict with our notices of intent when it's very small projects. No, I've never done this before. I have 4 kids, and everyone always talks. So I saw David Kaplan.
Oh, David,
It's like David Kaplan.
Yeah, I just have a quick question for the applicant too. I'm just curious how you guess knew to come to the commission for a permit. I know sometimes these landlocked spaces that don't have any sort of linkage to bordering vegetated wetland or anything like that. Just kind of curious how you knew that you were either in riverfront or jurisdictional resource area.
Yeah, it's thanks to the town itself.
Yeah, the inspection department sent us your way because we were asking about sort of requirements just related to the fencing because of where the plan is located, and so that's how we got connected to David and Jackie.
Okay, all right, thank you. Just appreciate that. Yeah, and I see both sides with Susan's and I guess Nathaniel's argument, and I also see where Chuck's coming from. It seems like a small project and it seems like an improvement, not necessarily like work that needs to be mitigated. I guess any future work that alters that condition would again have to come in front of us. So perhaps that's our that keeps us that I guess this improvement lasting for a while until something else changes.
Any other
100%
comments?
for what they're worth. So
Thanks, David. Any other comments? So just going to see if anyone else. I know Susan's has her hand up. Sure, let's hear from Susan Chapnick.
So, I totally see both sides to this. I mean, it does seem de minimis. Unfortunately, we have no de minimis in our regulations or our bylaw.
You do.
I was looking for it. So can you point me to that?
So it's up to the commission to agree so it's in 10.584 and 585. So
Okay.
it doesn't say we have to mitigate impacts. It's up to the commission. So I think that, and everything is always up to the commission when it comes to these projects. It doesn't, I mean, my understanding is, we follow the rules a lot. This is a big change
I hate
from
to
how
set
we
a
usually do
precedent,
things.
but maybe we can word it such that it's not a precedent. So even though it's semantics, maybe we don't call it mitigation, we call it improvement.
Well, when you were
Condition
reading
for
that,
improvement of native plantings on the lot. Because to me, mitigation offsets a harm. And what we're saying, if we're going to approve, say this RDA is a positive negative, we're saying there's no harm. So why do you need a mitigation if there's no harm or no alteration? I shouldn't call it harm, alteration.
Good point.
So maybe I don't want to set a precedent of mitigation on an RDA. But maybe we don't call it mitigation, we call it a condition for a native planting area. Just like we have a condition that your fence has to have a certain amount of room for floodwaters. I could live with that.
so I think that the part I was going to point to is, and everyone knows this, it's that the work shouldn't cause any harm. There's no impact. So is there really an impact here? I mean, in a way, you could say there is, but if you look at the big picture, is there an impact? As David Kaplan said, it's surrounded by pavement.
If
So
there's no impact, Chuck, then does the commission have a role here?
Well, that's what
they
the
do
RDA is. The RDA is there a role?
asking that same question, but I do
Yeah.
think that they're separated. I think the impact is about mitigation, and I think the work is about the RDA. So what Susan was explaining was C and D is the work in a resource area and will likely alter, and when the work will likely alter that resource area. And D is the work in the buffer, and will the work alter the buffer zone? So that's what we're being asked here. And there's some exemptions too, which weren't checked off. I assume that David didn't know if there were any exemptions that they qualified for. That's why I asked him when it was turned into a condo and when the house was built and all that there. So yeah, so I don't think we don't have a role. I just don't think that we have to require. I mean, the commission to stay within the WPA would say, we understand your project. We're not requiring mitigation for it, but we'll accept 150 square feet and a planting area.
The only other issue that came up was next owner of that property, are they obligated to maintain that same?
No, there's
No,
no legal, it's not on the deed.
Yeah.
It's
So
not
that's
getting
why,
recorded. Mhm.
yeah, that's why we're saying there's no impact.
Right.
So there's no need to maintain that. Um, you know, just in case the two homeowners don't know, I mean, a notice of intent is our flagship permit document, and it takes not only a lot of engineering and consultants and all that to kind of work through. So they're kind of required, but there's a lot more time involved and recording and expense. So to go from this to step up to a notice of intent is a big deal.
Chuck,
So,
have you experienced with an abbreviated notice of intent? I was looking at that.
I don't really see those too much. Anyways, I think I don't know the reason why or
Mhm.
why people don't use them. I think they're going through the same effort to, yeah, who knows? They haven't come to Reading too much.
Okay.
So,
Because I understand what you're saying. For most projects, it is a huge step up. I think they've done most of the work already, except for a survey, a stamp survey. They have the permeable pavers that, they'd have to do, list the plants they're going to put in. I don't think it's that much, but I do appreciate this discussion because I'm more comfortable to take out the word mitigation so that this is not setting a precedent. It's a unique situation where a small patio is going in right next to a drive, where the cars are parked. So yeah.
So
okay.
what are the options for this? Then where do we come down?
So what do you mean? What do we check off on the application?
Well, I'm wondering what the next steps are towards moving this application forward. What we're requiring.
We have to
So,
vote on
yeah,
a,
so if you're checking off a negative determination N3, you're saying so one is for riverfront and one is for wetland. So I don't know if it's N3 or N2 or whatever. Um, so you're saying that yes, the work is within our jurisdictional area, but no, the work is not going to alter it. And therefore, we're giving it a negative determination, which means it can proceed.
Sounds reasonable.
So, and again, we're talking about 150 square feet of pervious pavers, and it's a pretty small project for sure. Are you hiring someone to do this? Is
For the patio, yeah.
yeah.
That's our plan.
Okay. And did they submit a diagram of how they were going to ensure that these pavers were pervious?
I think they hadn't worked in Arlington, but they had mentioned that they had followed like the strict guidelines that they used in Somerville. So that was sort of that was the proposal that they included.
Yeah, we could send
what they sort of said it
that
looked
they
like
were
this
gonna
one.
they would use sorry, I'm not used to using your laptop.
Should I share this in Zoom? I don't know if we can. I don't know if we can share. Let's see. Yeah, here. LS. This is what the company offered us is like the plan that they've used in Somerville where they've done projects because they said that they had sort of the strictest standards that they've been exposed to.
Yeah, we would I would accept that and have that as an addendum to the determination.
Awesome.
Because I can see it says 12 inches right there of permeable matter.
Right, actually, I can stop sharing. Sorry about that. I can submit that.
All right. So here we are. Does anyone have any more on the commission have any? Well, let me just reach out to anyone joining our meeting tonight. So if you're here for this application and you have something to say, if you could just turn your video on or use the raise hand function to raise your hand and the reaction button to use the raise hand function. And I see Brad. Brad, can you introduce yourself for the record?
Yes, Brad Baranowski, 10 Lafayette Street. So just about 5 houses up the street from this property. I just want to speak in favor of what they're doing. I've been through the project a couple times. I know them very well. I also walk past their property at least once a day, usually twice when I'm commuting to work. I think that the project will, I know this isn't necessarily exactly what you all are concerned with, but I just wanted to add this. I think it really will make the street look nicer. Their property really anchors the street visually when you're coming up towards Mass Ave. And I think what they're trying to do will make the whole street just look a little bit nicer. The chain link fence is not ideal for the street. A lot of streets in this neighborhood are moving to get rid of them. Again, not necessarily of your concern, but I think it will bring the property into conformity with the overall look of the street. So just want to say that I think it's a thoughtful proposal and I'm very much in favor of it.
Thank you, Brad. Okay, turning back to the commission, are any more comments or motions?
Motion to close the public hearing.
And a second?
Second.
That was David Kaplan and Mike Kildiscane. I'm going to go with Susan Chapnick,
Yes.
David White,
Yes.
David Kaplan,
Yes.
Mike Kildiscane,
Yes.
and Chuck Teroni says yes. All right, so it's closed. They usually talk about conditions if this is the spot, if you want to have some conditions. Susan, do you have any that you want to incorporate into this determination? Since it's an RDA, I think, and we're basically saying it doesn't rise to the level of our concern, let's try to keep it to 3.
Right. I would love to see some kind of a signage or a post or something for your planting area that says native planting area or something like that. I mean, you can choose your words, but something that people know after you not to mow it, and to kind of keep it, as it is. That would be wonderful. You did say it was native plants. I appreciate that. You did say that, right? That was on the form. Okay. I didn't see any detail on the fencing other than saying it's an aluminum fencing. I'm sure you've spoken to David Morgan about how much space you need on the bottom to make sure you have flow. Did that happen?
It's an open fence.
It's just
they
open.
added- yeah.
It's all of, oh, I missed that then. Okay. Sorry. And I don't know if I had, the permeable pavers should be maintained permeable. So, do some kind of regular sweeping or maintenance. Some kind of simple language to that. Chuck, we have I think David Morgan has some standard.
Yeah, I put one together a couple of years ago. I don't know if it was updated, but David, I guess we're asking you to add that to the determination, just our standard maintenance for permeable paver patio.
Right.
So that was
So that would be it, understanding that we don't want a lot of conditions on a determination. So.
All right, so that was 2 conditions. Does anyone have any other conditions that they would like to see on this project? David Morgan, let me ask you as the administrator, do you have any conditions you would like to see on this project?
Rather than a condition, mind if I ask him a question?
Sure.
How high is the groundwater where you guys are at? Do you see water, like surface water in your yard ever?
No, not in the yard. No, the driveway sometimes with rain will get,
Sure.
It'll be, but yeah, the yard itself, I don't think we've ever actually seen like standing water, Yeah.
And have you dug down at all? Do you plant anything?
No,
Just curious.
it's all pretty.
We've
new.
dug down to remove some like vines and weeds that were popping up in our fence, but otherwise,
Yeah, and like in the first couple inches or whatever, like even within the first foot, you're not seeing groundwater come in.
Nope.
Yeah.
You have a basement?
Right. Yeah. Is the basement dry?
We live in it. Yes.
And
Our room is.
They made it very dry for you then. Good.
Yeah. So far, yeah. So good.
Okay.
The question is because the permeable pavers need a bit of dry land basically underneath them in order to infiltrate. And if it backs up, then it's going to mess up your patio, and you're going to have standing water and ice in the winter and so forth. So it just needs to be able to drain properly. I was just getting a very rough sense of whether that's possible for the site. I mean, if they dig down and they find water at a foot, they should tell you and say, like, the system isn't going to work as well as you expect it to. So I don't have a condition to put on this one, just wanted to confirm that info and give you that heads up.
Sounds good.
Good point. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, I mean, what's the basement like? Is the basement flooded? See anything coming in the
Not in
walls?
our, we do, I mean, like, there, I believe we were told by the previous owner that at one point it had flooded, but they've, I think,
Like prior to when we bought the place, I think they'd put in a French drain.
yeah, they put in a French
then-
drain and some pump. And so
Okay.
we haven't had, with all in the years we've been here, not had.
Does it have a fieldstone basement?
I
don't think so.
What is
Our-
it?
No,
yeah, I don't know.
it would look like cement or like a stone wall, fieldstone basement.
The unfinished part of the basement looks
Is-
like cement.
Yeah.
And then ours,
Okay.
I'm not, yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah, they might have.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
just that.
the groundwater elevation would be more or less aligned with the water surface elevation of the neighboring brook. So, I mean, unless I don't know what the separation from the street to the brook is, but you have to have at least a couple of 3 feet.
Hmm.
You should be able to, I mean, I'm not too concerned about it.
Good point, Dave.
All right, so let's just move. Yeah, I think we're finished our question. I'm just going to add one more thing. I think that with this project, I'd like to have a sign off or a closeout. I'm going to call it a certificate, but it's just a closeout where David Morgan goes there and ensures that all these conditions are met and the plants have been planted. And so that's going to be a requirement here. So that's 3 conditions. So when the project's finished, you'll reach out to David Morgan or Jackie, and they will go out and give you a documentation saying that we're satisfied. Of course, they'll report back to the commission too. That's it. All right. So with that, can I get a motion to approve
So
or
move.
issue? Sorry. Yeah, sorry. It's issue.
Yeah.
So David Kaplan,
I'll second
second. David White, second. So Susan Chapnick,
Yes.
Mike Gildersgame,
Yes.
David White,
Yes.
David Kaplan,
Yes.
and Chuck Tirone says yes. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys very
so
much.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, you can reach out to David Morgan. He'll be writing that up, and it's usually ready in the next 2 weeks or so. Okay.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you.
Have a
Thanks
good
for having
night.
me tonight.
Thanks.
All right. Next on our agenda is our second notice of intent. So I know that it's going to be continued. So it's DEP file number 910378. It's a notice of intent for 91 Sunnyside Ave. It was continued from 4/16. That might not be. Let's go with it. 4/16. And tonight the applicant would like us to continue, if I remember it correctly, up at the 28th. Let me check.
It's the 25th.
25th. Sorry. Yeah. The applicant would like to have us continue this hearing till June 25th, so I can get a motion on that, please.
So moved.
So that was David
Uh,
Gildersgame, Mike Gildersgame,
yes.
I'll second it.
and second David White. Yeah. Let's go with that. And Susan Chapnick
Yes.
and Mike Gildersgame,
Yes.
David White,
Yes.
David Kaplan,
Yes.
and Chuck Tirone says yes. Okay. I don't see anyone here except for commission members. We can talk about Nathaniel and any other business that is in front of the commission or members want to discuss. So I think, Susan, you wanted to say something about Nathaniel?
Sure. So, two things. One, I did speak to him today. I said, "When is your last day?" And he said, "Well, he's just leaving it up in the open." He said he would like to, at a minimum, step down to an associate position if we still needed him before we found a replacement. So I just wanted to tell the commission that he's willing to do that. I'd like to plan something for his last day. We also talked, we meaning myself and Chuck Taroni, Jackie and David Morgan, about planting a tree for him, and we're trying to figure out where to do that to commemorate his years of service to the commission and to the town. But I think also whatever his last official meeting is as a full commissioner, we should celebrate that. So I asked him, when is that going to be? And he was a little evasive. So that
how do you see
also
that happening?
yeah, that also brought up the issue of his replacement. And I know
So hold on a second, Susan.
Yeah.
Before we get into that,
Mhm.
we're hybrid system. Are we going to celebrate his leaving and celebrate this thing in this
Person?
format?
I
I
would
mean,
love to do it in person.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
that's
that
appropriate.
I know a great place, and the yard is kind of nice and big, central to where I live, but it's not
Is
my
it your
house.
place? No?
No,
Are you
no, but
talking
I
about
know
my house, Chuck?
it has a
Chuck, I
lot of
thought you
it has
just
a
did
lot of
your
parking.
yard
Well,
because your
you didn't
daughter's
move
getting married.
near
Yeah.
me because you didn't want to be the host. Look at that giant house with two porches, and one just got fixed up. So I'm volunteering David. We could have some sort of like sunny afternoon party at his house and meet his family and his mother-in-law and all that. It would be great.
Let me get through the birthday party for my son's 7th this weekend, and we'll see how it goes.
We got
All right,
a
well that's one suggestion.
It's
yeah,
always
we have a nice patio in the
about
back too. We can consider hosting over here. So,
Oh,
Oh, that's
beautiful. All
nice,
right,
Dave.
wow.
That's nice, Dave. So
Yeah,
we can do
Catherine.
it separate from a meeting, but I would hope that we
Yes,
would get together because I mean he's been it's 20 years. We
Absolutely.
definitely need
almost
to
25.
yeah. So that was
Yeah.
my first thing. So let's think about that and maybe find a date to do it sooner rather than later because I know the summer everybody has plans.
Before summer
And
hits.
if we even do it before he officially leaves, it's still okay, you know. So there's that, and I'll bring beer for those that imbibe from Aeronaut.
The source you have.
Yeah, I got a source.
Mm.
So the second question that's tied to that obviously is getting another member of the commission.
Yes.
So I don't know David Morgan, who I know there was one person who showed interest. I don't know who else emailed you.
Nobody else
And
has applied.
okay,
Just Emily, who's a landscape architect.
okay.
I can see her readily being a replacement for Kathy, who we lost a while back, but she's definitely not a lawyer, and she doesn't have expertise in the flooding arena, which is the other skill that we've been looking to
Phil, since we lost
replace, so to
Pam
speak.
too. Yeah,
Yeah.
How'd you replace Nathaniel with his old experience?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's almost
Impossible,
impossible.
really. Yeah.
And he did say he's always available if we want to just call him and ask his opinion on something. So that's really nice of him. I think we should advertise again. I think there was just one notice that went out, David Morgan. Am I incorrect or,
Might have been one dedicated notice, but they send out the listings periodically.
okay.
And I want to say maybe around a month ago it went out again. I got the question.
In what format is it? Does it go out? Social media?
Yeah, it's social media, the email, like the town notice
Town
newsletter.
notice.
Could the Conservation Commission pay for an ad in the paper? We've done that before, I believe.
Who reads the paper, Chuck?
Which paper?
Who reads the legal notices? I don't know. Someone does. They read them in
Well, the legal
Reading.
notices are now online. Did you know that? They're not in paper anymore.
Yes, you're Arlington.
You know what would be a nice thing to do and get the publicity that we're looking for is to make an announcement in your Arlington or similar about Nathaniel's retirement, how many years he's been there, etc., and mention in there
Yes.
that in that press release that we're looking for replacement members.
Let's do it.
Let's do that,
a
yes.
press release. That's awesome.
That's
Let's
great.
do it.
Great.
We can work on that. Let's do a press release.
There you go.
I like it.
All right. There you go.
Okay.
That's why we have committees. All right. Susan, you finished? Any other business with the?
Yes. No, I had nothing else. Thank you.
Any other business from commissioners? And that's it. So I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Great. And we got a second from Mike Hildesheim, and we're just going to traditional wave your hand, and we're out of here.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. See you in 2
Bye, Al.
weeks.
See you on the
So long.
25th.
Thank you.
All right.
Happy summer.